So, should we buy or sell Filecoin? First off, read this disclaimer carefully and do your good deed of today by liking and commenting. Filecoin is a decentralized storage network designed to restore humanity's most important to store humanity's most important information. Yeah. So Filecoin. By the way, here is Filecoin / US dollar FIL / USD. I did actually look at this one on the 31st of March 2021, so quite a while back. So here is the chart. Yeah, let's go to, well, we can look of course at the weeklies, but as you can see, we have recently had a big bullish candlestick for this week, broken out above the green 50-week moving average, which was resistance back in 2021. Looking at the dailies, we are above the 200 daily moving average in red. Massive, massive, massive breakout. But here comes the big but. Is this a good time to buy or sell Filecoin? Looking at RSI, last time we had this RSI was back here, good time to sell. Also, if we go back here, good time to turn bullish or bearish, bearish. Back here, good time to turn bullish or bearish, bearish. Back here, bullish or bearish, well, pretty darn bearish. As such, the overwhelming number of data points for this current technical context tells us that there's more reasons to be bearish than bullish. So while a breakout is of course very, very good, that is a bullish event, that doesn't mean the breakout means that it's a good idea to turn bullish. When you have a almost record overbought level, it means that it's fantastic to have an existing bullish position. But that's the key thing that a lot of people just miss completely about investing. They don't take into account that the only thing that matters is what happens next to the security in question. Will it go up or down? The moment you enter a position, the only thing that matters to you is what happens after you enter the position, of course. You gain nothing, positive or negative, for what happened preceding you clicking buy or sell. Given the current data on the technicals, I do not see any reason to become very bullish about the shorter time frame for Filecoin. Yes, a breakout is bullish long term, but the odds of a pullback is way too high. And a pullback would be favorable to the bears. And the gain for February is 67%, which is the best February so far. And March, however, is an extremely bullish month for Filecoin. April, May, June are atrocious. So this complicates the situation. Then the best month for Filecoin is the coming month. So actually, I will give the bulls a 5 here. The reason why I don't give the bulls more is simply because April, May, they were not bullish. So a bullish month being well, it's not really sandwich, but given that we already have such a fantastic gain for February, it means that future expectations for February should then be a bit reduced. We already have seen that seasonality come into play. As such, you could make the case that yes, the period is, yeah, I mean, it's a huge topic of yeah, huge thing to debate, but yeah, I don't do fundamentals when it comes to cryptos. So let's look at relative performance. I might as well explain to you how this whole relative performance works, like why I do what I do. So here are indicators that do a statistical correlation study between Filecoin and these various alternatives. The point here is that in order to know what something moves in relation to, you need to actually have hard data on it. So in this case, Filecoin, it makes a lot of sense to look at its relationship with Bitcoin because that's a cryptocurrency. I like to look at it in relation to S&P 500 because that is like the number one investment product out there. It's I think it's the number one. Yeah, the S&P 500 is super popular stock market index, and it's used as a benchmark. You could easily argue that there's other more like essential benchmarks, but S&P is at least the most popular one. And yeah, let's compare. Let's just do Ethereum. Yeah, ETH USD, calculated by TradingView. So now I look at the weekly data points, and because we have so little data here from the Filecoin US dollar pair, we are not able to do the study. You could, of course, change from 156 data points to something less, but then you get into the issue where you are not really, you don't get that smoothing of the data. And I like to get, sort of to get to the primary trend when I do a correlation study. But on the daily data points, we do get data minus 1% negative correlation with S&P 500. So basically, there is no correlation between Filecoin and the S&P 500. 72% with Bitcoin and 65% with Ethereum. So yeah, the 72% correlation is relatively strong. If it was 100, if it was 1, then it would be a perfect correlation, which means that they move together. If we had -1, it means that they move opposite each other. But yeah, it's very important to look at the actual correlations between securities. What some people do, which is very dangerous, is to just assume that there is a strong correlation between like a healthcare stock and a healthcare ETF. And then you look at the healthcare ETF and let's say that you see something bullish about the ETF and you are like, wow, this is going to be bullish for the stock. But if the correlation is low, it means that you are trading an illusion, and trading an illusion is obviously not going to be a pleasant experience. In this case, with 72% positive correlation with Bitcoin, it means that you take 72 minus 100, so the remaining, so there is some of the movements here that aren't really explained by these two, by Bitcoin affecting Filecoin. So that's a bit of an X factor here. But 72% is strong enough that we can look at Bitcoin, and if we see something bearish with Bitcoin, it's very likely going to be bearish for Filecoin, and the opposite is also the case. Now we do have the green 50-week moving average. Bitcoin is touching it. We also have an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is a bullish pattern. So there is something here with Bitcoin that is potentially rather constructive, but the previous time we danced with the green 50-week moving average, it was not a success. So I am pretty sure that the bulls here are looking at this, which they definitively should. So I am bullish, but I'm bullish with a caveat. Now, as we are breaking out above this resistance level, we definitively want to see bullish weeks ahead of us. If we start to see bearish weeks ahead of us, like we saw back here on the 28th of March, that's an omen. That's a very bad memory from back in 2022. Looking at the dailies, I mean, this is a nice constructive chart. It's not too bullish, not like getting ahead of itself. And when we look here at RSI and the PPO, you see that there's no like dangerous like overbought readings on the weeklies. On the dailies, we are high. So there is a bit of a probability that we might see some cool down, but we don't at least have extreme like danger readings. Okay, so let's look at the seasonality. Seasonality is pretty bullish for Bitcoin heading into the 26th-ish, well, later March. Looking at February, 7% so far, and February usually is a rather bullish month, so there still could be some fuel left in this rally. March, on the other hand, is one of the more bearish months. So that's a bit of a complicating factor, but it could be that we have more rally in February, and then maybe March is that cool down month. Now let's compare Filecoin and Bitcoin. Bitcoin US dollar. Let's use Coinbase. So Filecoin underperformed Bitcoin for a long time, but recently, we have seen a very sharp, abrupt period of outperformance, and we are heading towards high levels that historically usually results in a period where Filecoin underperforms Bitcoin a bit. Looking at the dailies, yeah, a bit of some dangerous readings, back here. After this period of outperformance, you did see that Filecoin underperformed for a long period. Back here, you have the same RSI reading as now. Sharp rally in Filecoin, but then a long period of underperformance. Okay, so this is the data we have here. This is real data. These are the facts. And the facts, they suggest that maybe Filecoin is going to have some period of underperformance. We end up with minus 2.3 in favor of the bears. We are very, very, very overbought. Ridiculously overbought. Then again, we did see some bullish data in the seasonality, so but yeah, I think that there's more reasons to be a bit bearish than bullish, but it's more that like the odds of a pullback is definitively there. Okay, we have some time left, so let's look at some stocks in a related theme that is called data centers, which is also about storing stuff. EQX is EQIX is one of those stocks. Equinix. Okay, so here is the chart. Yeah, we do have an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is a bullish pattern. And here is the shoulder. The current chart setup is not that interesting really on the weeklies or the dailies. Let's just continue. I like to have some kind of interesting event. Let's look at digital realty. Yeah, on the weeklies, nothing really that interesting. On the dailies, it's a bit noisy because if we were at the green 50-day moving average, then I would say, okay, a bit interesting, but now we have this candlestick here that went all the way down here. It did actually attract buyers, but that's also the day when it lost the 20-day moving average firmly, so it's just a bit of a messy setup. And messy setups can be difficult to trade. Then you have, Vertiv Holdings. In this case, we have an event. You have the red 200 week moving average, and we are now breaking out. That is bullish. On the dailies, we have a bit of a smooth breakout in this case. I like this is the type of breakout that I like. I guarantee you, if you look here at RSI, no problem. There's no like danger readings, nor on MACD or the PPOs. Yeah, so this is a very interesting setup. We don't get any data here to the left on seasonality. 13% so far for February, so the best February so far. March is not bullish, it's rather bearish, but we do not have that much data here in the seasonality table, so we shouldn't jump to conclusions when we have limited data, that is. PE, price to sales, price to book, is relatively speaking, low. So let's look at what the analysts are thinking. Wow, an astonishing 0.06% yield. Earnings in the coming 3 days. That could be interesting though, given that we have this breakout in development. Let's look at the forecasts. Yeah, I mean, it is bullish. They do see an 11% upside target, which would be a firm breakout. Max is 62% above us. Minimum is 19% below. 8 strong buys. So pretty bullish take here from the analysts. But yeah, we have looked at a bunch of stuff, and go to DiamondArm to get more data.